Satanic Temple.
Satanic Temple?
We're atheists and we're Satanists.
Are you for or against Trump?
We're against Trump.
Why?
Why do you think? He's going to take most of our rights away. Not happy about that. We want to protect you.
Because it's where it comes off the metal rim.
Thank you. Let us pray. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespasses against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
All right, so I just want to give you the two contrasting polarized events there to start this out. Now, I also want to, amongst that, first I want to say my name is Joseph Zabrowski from Our Fathers Productions, and I haven't done one of these types of videos in a while. I like to do them every now and then when the need arises, and I believe the need has arisen, because it's like you go from week to week, month to month, and you really start seeing what the truth is. And there's a lot of people that get confused about what's really going on here, and I like to always bring us back to the truth, because it is very simple. It seems very chaotic and complex, and it is truly chaotic what's going on on the surface, but it all comes back to one or two continual themes, okay? And typically, as we do these videos, we kind of we evolve to the next level. We give a reminder of everything we talked about in the past, but we build upon what we have talked about in the past as well. The first thing I want to show you here is I want to show you a scripture, and it is Ephesians 6:12, and it says, "For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms." Okay, hold on to that. And I just want to mention the fact that I think a lot of you know, if you've been following Trump, you know that, for example, at his inaugural address, he mentioned God probably 3 or 4 times, and that was a key address. That was a key speech. It was about a 20-minute speech, and at that speech, what he did was he invited God back into our country, okay, at his inauguration. He literally did that, and that needed to happen. And when he did that, it's almost like the spiritual veil was broken. The darkness in the spiritual world started to go crazy, okay? And you saw it. I mean, you're seeing it today. All right, now, so at his inauguration, he talked about God. He said we will be protected by God. He invited God back into our country. And then we saw him at his speech to Congress, which was one of the best speeches I've ever seen. He talked about God numerous times in that speech as well. And it's been a very beautiful thing. And then, of course, a couple of weeks ago in Melbourne, Florida, he had a gathering there, which I just played for you. Melanie Trump, his wife, went up there and she opened with the Lord's Prayer. He didn't even know she was going to do that. That was huge. Keeping God, in everything that we're doing, and it is causing like this battle here in our country, especially in Washington and in the world, because America is the beacon of light to the entire world. So this battle is raging on, and now what I'm going to do is, I do want to mention that these people were gathering at Trump Towers and in other places throughout the country to place a curse on Donald Trump. Now, you got to ask yourself, why is this type of thing going on? Okay, it would seem pretty obvious. There is a spiritual battle that has ensued, and it's relative to what I read to you in Ephesians 6:12. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but it's against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. We've talked about a lot of this stuff before, but I'm going to hit on some different things here as well. So as I've explained to you in the past, you know, this is a spiritual battle being fought on a political, economic, social, cultural battlefront. And if you don't know it by now, in this battle, we literally have Satan's minions. We have Satan and his minions, and we have God's people. And as I've explained in the past, at the bottom here we do have Satan, and then we have his minions. I'm not going to go into detail here this time. There's numerous secret societies, and we call them Satan societies. These secret societies, such as the Illuminati, Yellow Order of Skull and Bones, Brotherhood of Death, Anglo-Saxon Establishment, Club of Rome, various entities like the Freemasons. You're going to have to look into that yourself. But there's just a whole host of secret societies. One thing that most of these places have in common is they adhere to the Luciferian doctrine, okay? Now, people make up these societies, okay, these secret societies. And it's in these societies, or these societies are like the minions of Satan, okay? And what you find here is that the people that are in these secret societies, some of the main players, are the biggest names in the world, such as the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, the Morgans, Brzezinski, Kissinger, Peter Sutherland from the United Nations, people of this ilk, okay? These are some of the people with the most money in the world, and they are the rulers of the world up until this point, so to speak. Basically, what goes on here, my friends, is that these people are at the heart of industry. They come together every year at the height of the Luciferian season, middle of July. They go to a place called Bohemian Grove in Santa Rio, California, and they do what is called the cremation of care ceremony, where they cremate their care. They use an effigy. They bring in an effigy, and some people think it's a real person. It's an occult ritual. If you don't believe me, simply go get the Alex Jones from InfoWars. He did a video. He actually got into Bohemian Grove and he filmed some of it, unbeknown to them. And you actually see the ritual, and it is true. When you see it, you will know it is demonic. It is the occult. Occult means hidden. And one of the cornerstones in occult rituals is the sacrificing of children, oftentimes. And so in this particular ritual that they do at Bohemian Grove, they call it an effigy, but there is speculation that it might very well be an actual child or an actual person. They sacrifice that person, it being symbolic of sacrificing their care. They sacrifice their care, they call it the cremation of care, and upon doing so, they now are ready to go into the marketplace and be the animals, or the demons and the / animals that they really are, and just do whatever they want, have no conscience. It doesn't matter if they kill people, how many people they kill, how many people they destroy. They're going to do what they know they have to do relative to their belief, which comes from these secret societies, which ultimately comes from Satan, because they are demonic. And this is what's going on in the world, my friends. And so now these people who have controlled America for quite some time, there's a new guy in town, and his name, I think you know, is Donald Trump. He's the new sheriff in town. And so basically what I'm going to show you here this time, it's a little different than I showed you before. Okay, these people in their control of America, okay, over the years, when you control America, you control the executive branch of government, right? You can control the legislative branch of government and the judicial branch of government, okay? So we got this new guy here as the executive, Donald Trump, right? And the one problem for them right now is they don't have control of Donald Trump, and they don't like that, okay? And that's why you are seeing so much, just a battle, okay? Donald Trump coming into office was a gift from God. I personally believe, through my prayer and through my trying to really discover what the truth is. I believe that there's many people in America who say that, America's judgment is coming. Well, I believe that in God's eyes, America's judgment did come over the last 8 years during the Obama administration. I believe that God judged us. The perfect number in Hebrew is the number 7. I believe he judged us for 7 years, okay? And then in the 8th year of the Obama administration, things started turning, if you noticed. And 8 in Hebrew means new beginning. And in that 8th year, things started changing. And we had this new guy come on the scene, Donald Trump, and he is now our president. Truly, the one who wasn't supposedly supposed to win, but he won, and it was clearly from the hand of God. And we're seeing the fruit of it as he goes to these, as I shared with you just a moment ago, as he goes to these, in his speeches, he brings God back into our country, and he talks about God, and he gives glory to God, which is the way that it should be, being our country is called one nation under God. So what's going on right now is that they no longer, these demons, minions, no longer have control of our executive branch, okay? Now, they still have control of our legislative branch to some degree, but now this is something that you have to understand. Obviously, the nature of politicians, the vast majority of them are pretty spineless, as I'm sure you know. And so, as you can see, many of these politicians, you're seeing it, like for example, Mitch McConnell. You saw him like a sidekick to Barack Obama. He just went along with everything that Obama proclaimed, and now you see Mitch McConnell kind of going along with everything that Trump's proclaiming, okay? And it's because they're yes men. It's because their first concern or their first priority is themselves. It's not America. It's not we the people. It's themselves. And that's why you see guys like Paul Ryan, even though he is like a dog who will turn on you in a second, he's totally was going against Trump before the election. Now that Trump's in there, he's kind of going along with him to some degree, but he will turn on Trump in a second. But this is the kind of people that they are. They look out for themselves first, and whatever their special interest, number 2, those are the people who lobby them and give them money so that they'll be reelected. And then perhaps number 3 or 4, they'll look at their country. So typically they'll have the majority of the legislative branch, and that is why in the past you will have seen, whether you're Democrat or Republican, it didn't seem to ever matter. You always would get the same results for the most part. It was always anti-American. It was always to step on the little guy, always to step on the middle class, and just continue this big government machine that is going to take over the world, because these people, as I've told you before, they all seek a one world government, a new world order, which is becoming the old world order, by the way. And so they are behind our government. This is what is called the deep state. Okay, these are the players of the deep state, the new world order, whatever you want to call them. The coup d'etat in America, these are the people, okay? And they have control over most of our legislators, okay? The legislators are the ones who are supposed to make laws. They create typically over 200,000 laws a year, and that's all they do. And typically those laws are to put more chains on Americans, okay? Those laws are to destroy America, to destroy the Constitution. Many of the laws that they create are unconstitutional laws, and they are all about furthering the agenda of these people. Okay, and that's why you see America, a republic, according to Article 4, Section 4 of the Constitution, becoming almost, had Chairman Hillary gotten in, you would have seen a communist country. We've already broached socialism, and we are already in the hand of communism. And then at the last minute, God came through and he gave us a new president, President Trump. Now, when I talk about these types of politicians, 2 like poster children would be Chucky Schumer and Nancy Pelosi. They're the perfect example of legislators who are in the hand of these people, okay? Chucky Schumer and Pelosi, their re-elections are always funded by Goldman Sachs players. Goldman Sachs is a bank that the Rockefellers use as a front. Goldman Sachs is right at the center of the big banking establishment, and these people are the sponsors of the big banking establishment. I mean, these are the people who own the banks. Okay, so but you get guys like Schumer and Pelosi, and these people fund them. They fund their campaigns. And you also have other interests involved, like Saudi Arabia, for example. Saudi Arabia was a major player in the Clinton campaign. They give them so much money. And that's why the Clintons are there to serve Saudi Arabia. Okay, they're there to serve the terrorists. They're there to serve an America that's overtaken by Muslim terrorists, and that's why you saw everything that went on during the Obama administration, because he's a perfect example as well. He would be right in the center of the poster child of Pelosi and Schumer. I mean, he is funded by these big banking interests. He's funded by, other groups in Saudi Arabia. He's funded by our enemies, and that's why these people do what they do. They serve our enemies, and that's why our country has been taken over. Okay, and now we got this new sheriff in town, and they hate him. Everybody hates him. Everything they do, they're trying to knock him down. They create all these false narratives because, unfortunately, they've lost the executive branch. These people have, and they're losing a fair amount of the legislative branch as well, because of the nature of these politicians who are all about themselves. Okay, they put themselves first, and so a portion of these politicians are just they're going to go along with the Trump campaign. Okay, if they think that he can overcome this evil group of which they've been a part of, they're going to go along with them. They're kind of like in the center right now because most of them don't have a spine, and that's just the reality of it. Okay, so and then of course there's over here the judicial branch, and we see everything that I'm saying to you right now perfectly going on because, as you've seen, okay, number one. Before I get to the judicial branch, I want to explain this. You've seen this cadre of criminal demons from the pit of hell. Because they lost control of the executive branch, you got China over here, which is their role model. David Rockefeller loves communist China. That's their role model for the world. They would love America to be communist China, and that was the direction we were going, and that's why China owns so many things in America. They own most of the real estate. They've taken over Hollywood. They're taking over our industry because these demons here have used the legislative branch to create all kinds of bills and laws that allow these Chinese to come into our country and take it over in every way, shape, and form. Okay, so, but because they no longer have control of the executive branch, what they've done is they immediately went and ran behind their new daddy, which is China. Okay, or what they want to be is the sugar daddy to China, and what they would love to do, and it might not be very easy, but they're getting behind China, and they'd like to create a war between America and China because they want to be in charge. You understand what I'm saying? These people have been in charge. The executive is not allowing them to use America as the faceplate any longer, so now they run directly behind China because these people are the biggest cowards the world has ever seen. I mean, they're demonic, and all they use is bullying, intimidation. They're hardcore criminals and cowards to the nth degree. And so they immediately run behind China because they need a new faceplate to do their dirty work in the world. They need a new way to become the leader of the world. And so I don't know what's going to happen. Obviously, I hope there will never be a war, but they definitely would love for something like that to transpire. Okay, now, we see everything that I'm saying to you is true because did you notice, for example, you can see very clearly in our country, there's a line drawn, okay? Here you have the President of the United States, his administration that's not even fully in place yet because they won't allow him to get his administration in place. And you see these people, they control the judicial branch at this point. And you see them trying to yield their power or to use their power through that judicial branch. For example, that judge in Seattle, Trump wanted to carry out his deportation of the illegal aliens, and that judge in Seattle knocked it down and said that you can't do that, okay? And that's going to court. But that was these people using their power to do that, okay? And you can almost be assured that that judge was sponsored by these people, okay? And so they're trying to use their power now in the judicial branch however they can. And you can see very clearly there's two different entities in America. It's so in your face. Here you have the President of the United States, and you have this other entity that controls the media. That's the big M. That's the huge thing. That's why we have to turn off the television. They control that media and the narrative all day long, and you just keep seeing them pounding this false narrative of the Russia lie, the Russia lie, the Russia lie, just continually. And you see them using their power through the media, through the judicial branch, because they still have most of the people in the judicial branch are of their ilk. It's the people that they've put in there, and they're going to try to use that power however they can. If they can control from the judicial branch, they'll do it. But you see two separate entities. You see the president, his administration. You see this other entity that's trying to tell the president what he's going to do. I mean, no, you're not going to carry out your deportation policy with illegal immigrants. We're going to control you through this judicial branch, okay? And you see them telling, like you have the CIA, the guy in the CIA, Brennan, telling Donald Trump he better shut his mouth. He's the president of the United States, and he's telling him, you better shut your mouth. I don't know if you heard that, but that was actually something that he was quoted as saying relative to Donald Trump's policy and trying to revive America and bring an economy back to America. So you see very clearly there's two entities. There's the government, America, that the people have voted for, and then you have this other entity who has been in charge, but they don't want to relinquish charge, and they're going to do whatever they can to get Trump out of office and to try to take control again. And that's why I opened this up with that whole spiritual battle. It's really going on, my friends. They still haven't accepted that they've lost. They're so filled with hubris. They still think they're in charge. They have such huge egos, and they don't want to let it go. And you're seeing it right in front of your face. I mean, what is this secondary entity in America who still thinks it's in charge? We have a civil war going on in America right now. And that's part of the reason I'm doing this, because to alert you to that, if you don't know that, okay, there is a civil war and we need to all get involved. It is for the existence and the survival of our country, okay? And we need to do whatever we can. We need to not stand for any of these lies. We need to turn off their media, just turn it off. They're going down the tubes quickly, but they still have a lot of power, and they can do whatever. They can do a lot of different things with that power. So we need to stand as one. We need to come together in unity and not allow this. We need to get vocal however we can. We need to use our talents, the things that we're good at, and use them to get the truth out relative to what's going on. And we need not to stand for all of this just continual lying machine. This is the lying machine. This and this coup d'etat government, they are the lying machine, and we need to stand against it, my friends. When Americans, the middle class of America, when they prosper, this cadre, this coup d'etat that has been in America for so long, they suffer. They lose more money and they lose more power. But when they step on Americans and the middle class and America at large, they prosper and they gain more worldly power. So, you guys, we're all on the same team, and I'm encouraging you to do something. Create a blog, do videos, talk to the people, your family around you, get the truth out. Keep learning and growing so that you can express yourself in a vocal way, and stand up every chance that you get. Contact your representatives. we have a radio program. If you go to ourfathersproductions.com and click on News and Radio, we have a radio program, hourly program. You can catch it here. You can get an MP3. Just go to this link here and you can download an MP3, listen to it in your car, wherever you want to go. If you don't want to be vocal, or if you don't feel as if you presently have the tools or, you know, the information to, you know, lead others to the truth, then just wearing a shirt could speak volumes. And that's why we've made the shirt. When you get the shirt, you're helping to fund our ministry and our business so that we can continue to do these videos to continue to educate people. So it's a great shirt and a beautiful shirt. I think it's phenomenal. And then what I was telling you about was also the Lying Machine Movie Course and Study. This is absolutely a beautiful course. You get a bore snake gun cleaner with it, and you get your own back office. You can resell this course, and you can have your own back office where it does all your tracking, all your conversions. There's banners back there so that you can advertise it. We give you a marketing course that goes with the actual course so that you can market this to other people, and you make a great commission in selling this course. And this course will change people's lives. You can give it as a gift to others, and when you sell this course, you're helping to restore your country. So this is another way for you to do something. It's a way for you to learn so that you can have the knowledge and be vocal. But if you don't want to be vocal, then you can just market it online and quietly market it online and get it to other people. And when they get it, they'll be educated. And the more people that are educated, the more unity we have. And the more unity we have, the more strength that we have. And we'll be stronger as a country. So you can get this by going to ourfathersproductions.org. That's ourfathersproductions.org. Or you can go to Trump 2017 and beyond.com, scroll down and click on it on that page as well. Take care and God bless.